Hi there, Lightworkers! Welcome back to my channel. This is Aso Tarot, and in today's pick a card reading, I just felt really called to pull some cards and do messages for Lightworkers specifically. If you do not know what a Lightworker is, it is essentially just somebody who, no matter who they are or what they do, is committed to bringing more light into the world, whether that's through positivity or helping others or healing others or just overall being a good guy. So if you look it up, there's a lot more information, but I do think it's kind of silly that a lot of articles are like, could you be a light worker? Like it's some crazy thing. Like you have to have like special qualities, like being highly sensitive or something, and not just that. It's just be one. Like it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be anything special. You don't have to have any crazy qualities. Like you can just, it's free to be nice. So, yeah, you don't have to have anything special. And if you are interested in this reading and you have not identified as a light worker, just stick around and maybe you'll decide that that's something you want to look into more. So we have 3 piles today, pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It's absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. Just do what feels right to you. There's really no right or wrongs here. You can use a pendulum, meditate, whatever you need to do if you're having trouble. But once you're ready, you can go ahead and scroll down to the description box or the comment section where I will have all the timestamps below and we will get into your reading. Hi there, pile 1. I hope you all are having a wonderful day today. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to use these dice and I'm going to get you guys an angel number just to, I don't know, help this reading along or make you aware of a message that your angels might be trying to communicate to you. So Spirit, what angel number do you want pile 1 to be aware of? Okay, so we have 2. So 20, 0, 2. Mainly 2, which 2, you could be a life path number 2 or a life path 11. But yeah, you can look up angel number 2 and stuff like that and get more info into that. But we are going to be looking at this card first, which you guys got number 37, Heart Transmission. And I'm actually going to read from the book what this says because it says it much better than I ever could. So, 37, I was on 32. Oopsies. Okay. So, your heart is capable of not only giving and receiving love, but of connecting you to a great network of beings that resonate in the highest frequencies of divine love. Through your heart, you can receive information and guidance from networks of light that fill our universe. As you learn to open your heart to receiving these transmissions, your ability to work with group consciousness in a loving way increases. You shall affect humanity in a loving way, influencing the collective rather than allowing the lower frequencies of the collective to overwhelm you. Working with group energy is a leap on the spiritual path, with risk, but also great reward in terms of empowerment to manifest your life mission. The risk with group energy is mitigated when you approach it from the heart rather than the head. The mind can argue one point of view and then immediately and convincingly argue its opposite. The heart, however, feels something resonates or it doesn't, whether or not there is a logical explanation for it. The mind can be seduced by those who tell you they have great spiritual power, but this will instantly trigger intuitive warning bells in your heart. For those with genuine power, do not need to convince you of it. Speaking of, yeah, if you see people in the comments saying, I know a great man who can help you find your ex, guys, that's a scam. I know most of you know that, but this is not a thing. Okay, anyway, the heart is the key to deciding where you offer your devotion. When you offer devotion to the group consciousness that loves you unconditionally, your heart feels safe, loved, and an inner knowing of the rightness of that group for you. Whether that group exists on the earthly plane or in a spiritual dimension, for as long as it gives you life, broadens your horizons, nourishes your truths, and empowers you to live your destiny, that group is serving you. If you do not experience these positive effects, if you feel drained or confused, or that your issues are not resolving as you work with this group, listen carefully to your heart and question whether it is indeed the right place for you to be. It is important to also work with groups that you can serve. Although you may love your family, for example, they might not be the group you can best serve. Perhaps those who are open, willing, and receptive to your spiritual gifts are outside your family. Perhaps your family can benefit spiritually from you in the role of mother or son or daughter, but not in the role of spiritual mentor. On the other hand, some groups may want to feed off you, but not learn to do for themselves. They may wish for you to give them answers to their problems. They may not be willing to develop the trust, courage, confidence, and empowerment that is required to take responsibility for their own relationship to the universe, which is needed so they can grow in soul wisdom through their life experiences. Your heart may guide you to withdraw your services from such people because you love them and want them to grow. Your heart will guide you to operate differently with different people. You may be guided to explore hobbies or interests that lead you to the next group that your presence can assist. The heart will also guide you when it is time to move on. The transmission of the heart gives a truthful assessment of the interaction of your frequency with the frequency of a group. Is it mutually raised? Then this is a spiritually constructive connection. Is it diminished? Then this will not be so helpful. The heart empowers you to know when to work with others, for how long, and in what way. Trust it. The more you do, the more groups which can bring great benefit to you and to the planet can enter your world. And then there's this invocation. I'll hold it up. Hopefully you guys can see it. And then you can pause that if you would like to say that out loud for yourself or write it down, whatever you want to do. And this is the Lightworker Oracle, by the way. So this makes a lot of sense based on your tarot cards. So I have all your cards shuffled already. So we're going to start with your tarot first. We have the Knight of Cups in reverse, the Page of Coins in reverse, the Hermit, the Three of Wands, and the Five of Swords. And then with your oracles, we have Meditation, number 32. We have Responsibility, A New Earth, It's Happening, Keep Holding the Vision, and Soul Family, You Don't Have to Do It Alone. And then finally, we have Your Dreams Are Closer Than You Think, number 44, and The Gallery of Those Who Came Before. Let me make sure this is all in the frame. Yeah, I need to scoot these over just a little bit. I'll fix these while I talk. Alrighty, so I think that this message is actually very fitting, or like the cards are very fitting for this card. You might be really struggling right now with the people in your life. Maybe you're in like a transition phase where you feel like you're outgrowing certain friends, or maybe you're having a hard time really connecting with the people around you for whatever reason. But I definitely feel like you might be around people who are like emotionally manipulative or kind of prey on your good nature in order to get things that they may want for themselves. Another vibe that I'm kind of getting as well is just like a lack of zest for life, if that makes sense. I almost wonder, I feel like you guys have really big dreams. Don't we all? But I feel like you guys are capable of achieving them. And typically, I think you're more motivated than you are right now. And I think that might actually have a lot to do with the fact that you're around people who aren't supporting you. Maybe that's not everybody, but there might be a couple people in your life, or honestly, a big vibe I was getting too was like coworkers that might be very like emotionally draining or just energetically draining, like might like drama or stuff like that. I feel like Spirit is saying that it's okay for you to withdraw when you need time for yourself, because I feel like you might be taking responsibility for things that aren't your job to be responsible for in the first place. For example, like if somebody's struggling at your job and it's their job, they need to do it, it's their task or whatever, and you've got stuff to do, but they're hounding you to help them. That's a case where Spirit would want you to assert your boundaries, because if you have your own things that you need to do, you can't sacrifice what you're doing to help somebody else. And I think that Spirit's asking you to dream as big as you freaking want, because I do think that you're in this transition phase for a reason. You're going from one form of living to another. And I think that like literally with this Three of Wands, you're ascending at this time. And I think that Spirit is asking you to take responsibility for your own needs rather than feeling pulled in like 70 different directions. Because I think a lot of the people in your life, not a lot of the people, but maybe like some certain groups or specific people that you hang out with, they make you feel really depleted when you're done hanging out with them or when you are around them. And I feel like Spirit is saying that these aren't fruitful connections to invest in. If you don't feel good after hanging out with somebody, or you just feel icky, that's usually a good sign that they maybe aren't something that resonates with you, which is what this card talks about. And I think that all you really need is more trust that your heart won't lead you astray. And with this meditation card, this is really saying that if you're having trouble getting in touch with your heart, meditation is going to be the perfect way to get there. If you have trouble meditating, which like I do too, stillness is a skill and it's something that you have to develop. But one tip I would give is to focus on your breathing. And if you need it, maybe do like guided meditations first so that you don't have to be responsible for like getting yourself into the zone. But I think that you really are like, you're ascending for sure. And I think maybe some of these people that you were friends with, you really vibed with in the past, but now that you are just growing and evolving, they're not really resonating with you anymore. And I think partially you're afraid of hurting somebody's feelings, like ditching them or something like that. But I feel like Spirit is saying that, you know, sometimes people are here for a reason and sometimes they're here for a season. Are they roots that keep you grounded to the earth, or are they leaves that just blow away in the wind? I feel like you might have some fickle friends who maybe don't see your worth. And now if you have wonderful friends and you don't see that issue, then this probably just isn't resonating. But for some of you, if I'm talking about certain friends or a specific person or a couple people are coming to mind, that is definitely what you want to be aware of. Because I think that you are on the brink of something really awesome. With this, your dreams are closer than you think, and a new earth, it's happening. Keep holding the vision. Your heart is leading you to your soul's purpose and the thing that you're meant to do, whatever that may be. And I feel like Spirit is asking you to focus on that more. It might be time to retreat and go within, because I do think that you are on the cusp of meeting a lot of people in your soul family. And if you feel like there's already people that you know in your soul family, maybe prioritize spending time with them or the people that make you feel good over the people that don't. And with the Hermit card here, I feel like this is a time for you to be going within right now. Outside advice, ironically, is maybe not going to be the most helpful, even though you're watching this reading. I just think that you have more wisdom within you than you realize, and I think you actually know a lot of the answers to the questions you've been asking. You just maybe haven't really wanted to face them or truly like digest what that actually means in terms of taking action. There's a difference between knowing and being, and I think that you're having trouble being, but you know. There's a lot of things that you know, you're just afraid of what your world might look like if you instill that change. But I feel like Spirit is saying it's time, and that you're not going to be alone, and that distancing yourself from people who don't make you feel good or who don't support you in your dreams is never going to be something that makes you a bad person. It's going to make you feel better and hopefully make you feel lighter. It might hurt at first, but I promise you, people who are not meant to be in your life will fall away anyway. And I feel like Spirit is saying is that you know whether connections are worthwhile or not, and maybe you're having trouble because some of them have lasted, like maybe they're childhood friends, or maybe they're people that you've known throughout like a specific time you've lived somewhere, and now you're just not really resonating with them anymore. It might just be because your time being really close to those people might be done, and that's okay, because anybody that falls away, Spirit will replace with something much better. And with the gallery of those who came before, I feel like this is focusing more on these dreams that you're working for, you're expanding. And what I'm getting is that Spirit really wants you to know that you need to stop comparing yourself to how others have done things when it comes to achieving your goals. Look at them as like maybe mentors or guides of the direction to head in. But I feel like Spirit is remembering that, is wanting to remind you that your journey is uniquely yours, and the way that you achieve your success is not going to be the same as the next person. Everybody's journey is unique, but I feel like Spirit is saying keep going and dream bigger. I think that you actually could dream a lot bigger. This ladder could be a lot higher than you want it to be. And I feel like if you've been betrayed in the past, like maybe you're really upset because friends have been not treating you very well, or maybe romantic interests, whatever it may be, I feel like Spirit is saying you know in your heart what's right, and while doing what's right might hurt, letting go sometimes of those things that hurt us is often easier than holding on to them, because it just, yeah, it can be painful. But if you haven't found this soul tribe already, I feel like Spirit is really stressing that you will find them through following your dreams and following the things that make you happy. I mean, this is literally, all of these cards are doing is just reiterating what this heart transmission card said. And so I think that it's time for you to value what your heart says, even if it doesn't make logical sense. You know, we have Virgo energy with the Hermit, and Virgo is so analytical, and that can be hard sometimes because you'll just pick things apart and try to understand it from every angle and try to truly understand what's going on here. But Spirit is really saying, like, it really doesn't have to be that complex. It's not that complex. Like, if you just listen to your heart, the messages will be a lot more straightforward. And that's why calming your mind is important in those meditations, because when you are able to kind of dissipate that monkey mind, that anxiety or whatever, just that constant stream of dialogue in your head, the answers that your heart is trying to whisper to you will be a lot clearer. And if you'll notice, 32 reduces to 5, and 5 is a number of change. And so I think that, you know, maybe it is time for you to make some changes and take responsibility for how you want your life to be and who you want it to be in your life. Because I think it's really important to have a support system, not just of family, but of friends and, you know, people in our lives that we care about. So I think Spirit is saying that anyone you decide isn't worthy of being in your life, if that falls away, it will be replaced by people who are in alignment with your mission and are meant to be in your life. So in addition to that, I'm going to pull you guys some advice cards and some self-care cards. So we're going to do these affirmator cards first. Okay, so Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 1 at this time? What do you want pile 1 to know? Okay, I feel like Spirit wants me to take this one, so I'm taking it. Okay, friendliness. Whenever I smile, I make someone's day better. What a cool way to buy happiness for free. Today, I will remember what an awesome power I hold, and I'll take joy in improving the lives by simply by giving away grins like crazy. Note, in a pinch, money will also work. We also have strength. You are hereby declared a strong, resilient warrior of heroic proportions. Enjoy your battles, whatever they are, because you're guaranteed to come through them stronger, brighter, and more compassionate. And based on what I know of mythology, probably with gray hair and a six-pack. And on the back of the deck, we have gentleness. I speak with gentleness and I listen with gentleness. I align with the gentlest part of myself, and I take joy in being receptive, open, and unafraid. I am like a baby deer who's best friends with a baby elephant. The baby elephant wraps its little trunk around my shoulders, and we lie down gently on the grass, daydreaming about what sorts of humans the clouds look like. Aw. Yeah, these are really beautiful, and I think that, you know, you can slowly distance yourself from people. Like, you don't have to be really dramatic and confrontational about maybe anyone that you don't want to see. You can always be gentle with people. And I feel like if there's people that have been gently trying to enter your life, or you've been feeling called to see more or spend more time with, that probably has some validity to it. And that's kind of your heart's way of saying, hey, maybe these people are in your soul family, or maybe you need to get to know these people better. They might be links to soul family, and you know, etc., etc. We're also going to do some self-care cards too, and just see what kind of self-care Spirit wants you to be focused on at this time. So Spirit, what self-care would you like pile 1 to focus on, please? What self-care you want pile 1 to focus on? Okay, so the first one is clean your space. So yeah, if you need to do some cleaning, maybe take some dishes out of your room, get some get some organizational stuff, whatever you need to do. Having a cleaner space will make your heart a little bit lighter and make your head a little bit clearer. So, you know, maybe it's time to do some cleaning and just get some things out. But let's see what else we have. We also have drink tea. So if there's any tea you like, I would look into that. And we also have a look to the stars. So yeah, maybe looking into your birth chart a little more might help get you an idea, or give you an idea of like your ambitions and your goals. I would look at your midheaven specifically to see if there's anything helpful there, because I think the midheaven has a lot to do with like life purpose and career. And then the 11th house is related to friends. So maybe if there's any transits in your 11th house right now, or maybe coming up, you might want to look at those. Or the 7th house, because the 7th house has to do with partnership. So if this is more love related rather than friendship related, that could be applicable as well. But we are going to get you some channeled messages from your guides at this time. So Spirit, what would you like to say to pile 1 specifically? What would you like pile 1 to know? Okay. So to start, we have, I will have a message for you in the next movie you watch. Pay attention. So the next movie you feel called to watch, I would be on the lookout for any messages that Spirit might have. And honestly, the movie doesn't matter, because I promise you this works. Like, they will find a way. Any message. Like, I was literally watching The Other Guys the other day, and I was like, oh my God, there was like the biggest message in it for me ever. So trust me, it does not matter what type of movie it is. They will get to you. Oh, we also have Millpool, which is a Simpsons reference. But I kind of take this card to be... Actually, this is a perfect reference, because you know what happens in the Simpsons episode? Bart falls off a tree and breaks his leg. And they got a pool, because his real name is Milhouse, right? And Milhouse is Bart's best friend. And Milhouse completely ignores Bart the entire summer because they have a pool and he wants to go swimming. So Bart asks Milhouse to sign his cast, and he literally signs it Millpool. So if there's any Millpools in your life that care more about your pool than your heart, and you know, which, I mean, you know, Milhouse and Bart stay friends, but I guess the point of that is, you know, be conscious of the people who are in your life and how they treat you, and you know, do they value you for who you are? Do they value you for what you have? How do you feel after you're around them? Things like that. We also have Make a Wish 1111, so that could be a synchronicity you're experiencing. And we have Boundaries are essential. You will never be a bad person for asserting them. Honor yourself and your needs. Yes, I think that is super important. And on the back of the deck, we have You are in alignment when you speak your authentic truth. And I completely agree with that. So Spirit is asking you to be honest with yourself and honest with what isn't resonating in your heart, because that is... Wait, what did I just say? I'm sorry. I just like... Spirit is asking you to always speak with your truth, or listen to your truth, so that you can be in alignment with what the universe wants for you. So whenever things feel off in your heart, that means there's something misaligned and there's something that needs to be tweaked so that you can be in alignment. And you will never be a villain for speaking your truth, and you can speak with gentleness, and that will kind of help you get your message across without feeling like you need to be confrontational or like mean or whatever. But I think I'm going to leave this reading here, pile 1. Thank you guys so much for watching this all the way through. If you did, definitely let me know down in the comments how it resonates. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you left this video a like. And if you have not subscribed, I would love if you joined our fun little fam as well. Thank you guys so much for letting me read your cards. And thank you for being a light worker. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this. And I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 2. If you guys chose this card in the middle, this is going to be your reading. So we're going to look at this card in a second and read it from the guidebook. This is the Lightworker Oracle. And then we'll do your cards, and then we'll pull advice, self-care, and channel messages from your guides. But before we do that, I want to get you guys an angel number. So if there's any messages or signs that that the universe or your guides are trying to give you, it might be in the form of this number. So Spirit, what is an angel number for pile 2? Okay, so we've got 15, which reduces to 6, the number of love. Oh, and I guess 6 again. So 6 is being affirmed. Okay, so let's look at your card now, and we have Star Child number 8, and I'm going to read it from the book, mainly because it can talk about things way better than I ever could. So, the light of the stars exists in you. The earth wants you to share that light with humanity. You are asked to understand that you are meant to be here, that you have spiritual work to accomplish. Give up the idea that you belong somewhere else, to another home in the stars. Instead, let the starlight of your inner being shine here on earth, where it shall make such a positive difference in the world. Fall in love with Earth's beauty. She can and will support you in all ways. Have you been dreaming of other places you would prefer to be? Are you wondering if there's more to life on this planet than suffering and struggle? Perhaps you know you have a mission, yet doubt you can succeed. Perhaps you love your life here, but yearn to experience the spiritual purity that exists in the higher vibrational fields of the stars. You may feel like a tourist in need of a fix of your home language to endure adapting to a very different world. Grounding yourself here on Earth enables you to fulfill your life mission. You cannot accomplish this without feeling that you belong here. Your feet need to be planted on the earth. Relax and trust that you are meant to be here. You have a special light to share and a particular spiritual vibration to live, so that the quotient of embodied spiritual light on the earth increases. You are part of an important team of spiritual beings working to assist humanity to grow spiritually. The challenge for a star-seeded soul is to accept human beings as they are, without despairing over their darker side. The violence may frighten you, but your love will help humanity learn to use that violence to dismantle old structures and create new ways of being. It can be channeled to energize humanity with a can-do attitude towards creating a more loving and functional world. Remember, you came to this planet to learn and help you heal others. You agree to take this journey because you can assist both the earth and humanity to evolve their frequency. It is possible, and you are helping make it so. There are 3 truths that'll help you embrace your journey on this planet. Firstly, you carry the purity of your star ancestry in your heart. You can return through meditation or relaxation at any time. You often return to your starborn home during sleep. The loved ones from that place are very aware of your journey here and are helping every step of the way. They send you frequencies from home, like divine care packages, which fuel you for your earthly task. Secondly, you are so filled with love that you are capable of loving all on this planet. You have compassion for even those who are very wounded and fearful, and at times act out in ways of violence, cruelty, and ignorance. Now the human capacity for courage, compassion, and light is increasing. Your work as a part of the team of light-loving beings is already having an effect. Thirdly, as a star-seeded being, you have special resources for your journey here on Earth. Your every spiritual request and need will be met by a loving team of helpers. You get to have a lot of fun in your healing mission if you so choose. It doesn't only have to be hard work, though of course sometimes it will be. Just remember that the stars shine with joy in the sky, and you can shine as a star with the joy upon the earth. This is your nature. This is how you can best fulfill your life mission. And then there's an invocation up here that if you want to read it out loud to yourself, you absolutely can. And if you'll notice, the page number is 42, so we have another 6 as well. Okay, So hi Starseeds. If you can't tell, that's kind of what they are referencing. Maybe this is something that you have been looking to learn more about, maybe not. But looking at your tarot cards now, we have the Four of Pentacles, the Emperor, Judgment, the Two of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles. We'll do these in a second. We also have Clarity, number 25. Make sure that's in the frame. Move these guys over. And then we also have Earth, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. Yes, very on brand for you. We also have Keepers of the Earth. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. And we have Archangel Ramiel, Divine Love. And then finally, we have No One Is Yours But You. And Pink Bubble Fairy. Okay. Sorry if I sounded super close to the mic. I was standing up to make sure everything got in the frame. Okay, so could be an Aries if you have that placement with the Emperor here. But I think that this reading makes a lot of sense, or like these cards make a lot of sense based upon the card that you drew. I feel like you really might be struggling with your identity and kind of like why you're here and what you're here to do. Maybe you have a better idea. Maybe you've been kind of pushed along, or like you've slowly but surely finding your way through this world. But what's really interesting is that we have a lot of pentacles here besides the major arcanas we have. But I think that one reason why maybe you feel confused or you feel stuck, if you do, is because you're not grounding enough. With this card, Earth, learning how to be human in the world but not of it, I kind of sense this slight resistance to integrate, which is completely understandable. You might just be really overwhelmed, maybe really anxious, and maybe just feeling like you don't belong anywhere and having a really rough time. And so I feel like Spirit is trying to encourage you to be open to the fact that you do have a lot of loving beings around you all the time, even though you may not be able to see them with your eyes. Maybe you can. If you can, that's really cool. But I feel like there's a lot about the origins of your soul that you're about to get clarity on, or you should be getting clarity very soon. This is representative of the third eye chakra, so your third eye could be opening a lot. But I feel like with this Judgment card here, Spirit is saying that there are a lot of revelations to come in the near future, and that in order for you to feel in control, it's time for you to stop feeling so uncomfortable in the 3D. Maybe you don't feel that uncomfortable in the 3D, but I think that maybe Spirit is saying that grounding is an essential part of your process here, as well as compassion and mercy. Archangel Ramiel, who is all about divine love, preaches mercy especially, and compassion for all types of people, which is what this card talks about as well. And I think that's really important because it can be really hard sometimes, like, you know, seeing a lot of violence, or just the news being on TV and seeing, you know, all these horrible things that are happening in the world, and how terrible everything is. And it can really like mess with your mood. And so I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, one, you can only take that in small doses sometimes, and it's okay to take a break from that stuff if you need to. But two, I don't typically interpret the Judgment card as literally, and I don't think that you're a judgmental person, but you might have a fear or an aversion to a lot of people, or towards humanity in general, and that might actually be holding your purpose back, or holding yourself back in fulfilling your purpose. Because I feel like you do have a lot of divine beings around you, maybe of this earth and maybe not, that are, or both, that are really supporting you. And I think that you're in the process of manifesting something really cool for yourself, whether it be a career opportunity, some type of school opportunity, or doing something to further your purpose along, like maybe you're an entrepreneur or something like that. And I feel like Spirit is really asking you to be the emperor of yourself. With this, no one is yours but you. It's important to remember that nobody owns you, only you own you, and you don't own anybody, which you probably are already under that assumption that you don't own anybody. But I think it's important to remember sometimes when people might want to control you, or you may feel like out of control, like you feel just so out of yourself and out of your body, and just like you don't belong. I feel like this is Spirit's way of reminding you that you are such a unique being, and that nobody owns you, and that, you know, part of your mission here is to master just being human. I know it might be really enticing to just stay in a fantasy and think about, you know, where our soul could be or where it came from, but I think Spirit is saying that it will really give you, maybe that's not what I want to say, it will really help you along to kind of focus on your goals in the 3D. But with this pink bubble fairy, I feel like Spirit is asking you to focus on manifestation as well. Look up the pink bubble manifestation. That's what this card is based on. I've actually never seen it, but it's kind of ironic because typically when I'm in meditation, I think of a pink bubble because I always think of like white light coming up from the sky, and then, you know, like the root chakra is red with ground energy, so like the white and the red make pink, and that's kind of how I think about it. But I feel like Spirit is saying when you're having trouble juggling your tasks on earth, that you can always go within and ask for help or support from all of the spiritual beings or your spiritual team that love you so very much and want to help you, because there is a lot of divine love around you. And I think that there's always going to be a warmth in your heart whenever you need it. If you feel like you're losing it, that will be given to you by the guides in your life. There really is a bright light that surrounds you, and I feel like Spirit is saying that you are such a warrior and you can really overcome any obstacles that you have facing you right now. And while everything in your life may not make sense, Spirit is saying that there's a bunch of clarity coming to you soon. And actually, with this 25 reducing to 7 is a very spiritual number. And I think this, and same with 34, I think this is Spirit's way of saying that you're going to be learning more of your spiritual power soon. And I actually think that getting lost in small tasks like chores or, you know, your work, you might get intuitive downloads, kind of when your brain is not really thinking or pondering super deeply, but it's just kind of on autopilot. That's when downloads are going to come to you. So be aware of those and maybe write them down if you need to. But I feel like Spirit is saying that you are in control of your own life, and that it's important for you to assert boundaries. And when it comes to this stuff like being a starseed and stuff like that, you know, you don't have to share that with people. If you absolutely can if you want to, but I feel like some of you guys might be like embarrassed or ashamed or like just kind of shy about the idea of you just not fully belonging here. And I feel like Spirit is saying that it's okay to kind of keep a lot of that stuff under wraps if you don't feel comfortable talking about it. And one thing I just heard is your work will show for itself. So I feel like Spirit is asking you to have more pride in what you are doing and what you are undertaking, because I think that you've succeeded a lot and you've already accomplished and overcome so much. And I feel like Spirit is saying that this Emperor energy is going to come within time. I just keep hearing like everything will make sense soon, or like the clarity you need about whatever you're inquiring about is coming, which you're like, thanks Asa, that was so specific. I know, but I feel like part of your process right now is just kind of sussing out what is working for you and what isn't. And like, I think that maybe if you're, I almost feel like it's split. Some of you are very 3D focused right now. Like maybe you're just focusing on your work and not really kind of going within. And Spirit's asking you guys to really go within and focus on the yearnings of your soul that you don't quite understand. And for other people, I feel like you're really struggling to be a part of the 3D right now, and you're really kind of maybe in your head, or kind of lost in fantasy, or just lost in kind of just spaced out in a way where you don't really feel present. And I feel like Spirit is saying that the clarity you're looking for actually will come when you are being very present and when you are focusing in the 3D. So it's kind of a bit different for everybody, but I think this is all about assessing your needs, but also recognizing how unique and special you are, and that you have a special mission here, and that, you know, you get to you are the emperor of your own life. Nobody controls you but you. You are allowed to set your boundaries. You are allowed to give anyone as much or as little information as you want to. You don't owe anyone anything. And you have so much spiritual power behind you, guiding you, whether you realize it or not, and pushing you to do the things that your soul is calling you to do, because they want to see you succeed, and they know that you can succeed. And I think that you've already come a long way, and they're really proud. And so I think that this is just going to continue, and you're going to continue to evolve. And I think that one of the best things you can do for yourself is stand in your power when it comes to how you approach things and your attitude. Looking at people with compassion and mercy, rather than why is everybody so awful, why is everything so terrible, you know, really trying to get in that energy of love. You know, love grows love. And if you ever feel like there's just not enough love in the world, like, I don't know, look at like puppy videos or something, like just something heartwarming that'll just remind you that there is love in the world, and that there are good things, because there are. And I think that for those of you who are really 3D focused, it would benefit you to really focus on manifesting and dreaming about what it is that you want. And those of you who are just dreaming about what you want, it would really be beneficial to focus on the 3D at this time, and kind of get into the world and get grounded. Because part of your process here is learning how to be more human, learning how to integrate with humanity, and while also raising humanity's vibrations. Because while you might be a star-seeded soul, you're in a human meat body right now, and so it's time to be a human thing. Okay, so I'm gonna pull you guys some advice from the Affirmators cards first, and then we'll look at some self-care. So Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 1 when it comes to being a light worker and starseed? Just what do they need to know? I'm gonna take this one as well, and the back of the deck. We'll start with the back of the deck. Gratitude. Today, I am grateful for all of the little things. Even when the big things suck, there are always plenty of little things I can be a little grateful for, like hot showers and music, and the fact that humans invented an internet and I'm allowed to use it whenever I want to, using fingers and thumbs to do whatever I think of them to do at any moment. That is so true. Okay. We also have no judgment. I release myself from any judgments. I find my inner critic, call it into my office, and tell it to take a vacation. As it leaves the room, I let out a sigh and begin to enjoy the joy of simply being. Who hired that guy anyway? Yeah, I love that. And I think that's important too, because, you know, a lot of this stuff does seem very far out, but like the more you, honestly, I think the terms are more off-putting than like what they actually mean. Because they almost seem so like grand and astronomical, which I don't even know if that word makes sense, but it just seems so out there, and you might feel a little weird for it. But the general nature of what they actually stand for and what they actually mean, I think, is what's important to resonate with. Try not to get too hung up on like what the specific labels are, because it can get overwhelming when someone's like, oh yeah, I'm a Syrian starseed, and like, you know, it's just like, well, what? You know, you don't have to get hung up on certain constellations or things like that. You know, just do what feels right to you, and you don't have to share it with anybody. But it's important that if something resonates with your soul, don't judge yourself for it. Just because it doesn't logically make sense doesn't mean it's not valid. You know, logic is only one way of being. And if you're drawn to the first reading, I would recommend watching that as well, because it talks about how your heart, although things might not make sense, your heart knows what resonates with it. And the messages through that can be very clear and give you clarity. But we also have friendliness, which came out in the first pile. Whenever I smile, I make someone's day better. What a cool way to buy happiness for free. Today, I will remember what an awesome power I hold, and I'll take joy in improving lives simply by giving away grins like crazy. Note, in a pinch, money may also work. And then we're going to pull you some self-care as well to see what you guys need to know about that. Okay, so Spirit, what self-care should pile 2 focus on in the near future? What self-care can be, we're going to take this one, could be really beneficial for them. Okay, we'll take these. So on the back of the deck, we have rest. So yeah, if you've been working too hard, don't be afraid to take a rest and take a break. There's another 7 for you. But we also have meditate. And yeah, I think meditation could be really helpful. And it'll help you get in touch with your Starseed fam. We also have watch a movie and pleasures. So yeah, don't be afraid to, ew, I'm not saying that. God, okay. Literally in my head, like I heard a spirit say, rub one out. And I was just like, ew, that's so gross. Don't say that. But it's not gross. It's human and it's important. So, you know, don't be afraid to do that. You just don't have to refer it in terms like I did. But yeah, meditation, I think that there's a big message here of taking a break when you feel overwhelmed. You know, if you're juggling a lot, it's okay to, like, even if you haven't been focused and grounded and present in the 3D, you might have been spending a lot of that time just ruminating over the things you need to do and just stressing yourself out mentally. So you might just need a rest in general, like just even if you haven't gotten off the couch in a week, you might just need to rest because your brain needs it, and give yourself time to regroup, and then you can attack the day another day. Like every day's a new day, and you really don't have to stress yourself out with stuff like that. But we are going to finish off with some channeled messages from your guides. So Spirit, what do you want pile 2 to know at this time? What messages do you have for pile 2, please? You guys got a lot of red cards, a lot of grounding. Pay attention to how you feel after being around someone. Uplifted or drained? Take note. We learn more through our failures than we do our victories. Abundance is assured. Hell yeah. So all this work you've been doing, that's going to pay off. You'll get some money. And clairaudient, you hear it. So maybe clairaudience is something that you should look into. If any random songs you find pop into your head that you haven't listened to in a while, I would definitely pay attention to that, because those are typically signs and messages. I actually feel called to pull songs for you guys, so I'll do that in a second. But on the back of the deck, we have We Know. And so I think that if you are calling out to any spirit guides or any starseed families, or your starseed family, this is their way of saying, hey, like, we hear you, we love you, we're here for you, we know how well you're doing, we know how wonderfully you're doing. This could apply to maybe any members of your 3D world that have passed away as well. The Spirit's basically saying, we know you're doing a wonderful job. Don't worry. We're so proud of you. So, and if you like Skyrim or Elder Scrolls, I guess, there's a little bonus for you. But let's get you guys some songs. I think this is only going to happen for pile 2. So you're special. Okay, so pile 2. Not that the other piles aren't special. I just wasn't going to do that today. This blue one's calling out to me as well. Both of these blue ones are. Okay. So we have Best Days of Your Life by Kelly Pickler. It's like one of the few country songs I'll actually listen to. Mirror, Lil Wayne featuring Bruno Mars. One Step at a Time by Jordan Sparks. That is a bop. We also have Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. And La 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 Promises by Ali and AJ. So I'm going to leave this reading here, pile 2. Thank you guys so much for watching this all the way through if you did. And thank you for being a light worker. Definitely let me know down in the comments how this resonates. I would love to hear. If you have anything else you want to say to your fellow light workers, wouldn't be bad to give them some support. Thank you guys so much for letting me read your cards. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you enjoyed this video, definitely leave it a like and subscribe. I would love it. It helps me out more than you know. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this. I hope this helped, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, Pile 3. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so happy that you are here and so happy that you are the light worker. So we are going to look at this card in a moment, and I'm actually going to read from the book about what it means, because it says it much more eloquently than I ever could. But before we do that, I am going to roll you an angel number first, in case there are any messages with this specific number, or maybe you've been seeing synchronicities, or maybe you will moving forward. But just to see what kind of message Spirit has for you. So Spirit, what number do you want Pile 3 to be aware of? Okay, we have 1 and 5. Okay, we got 15 again. So 15 reduces to 6, which that was Pile 2's as well. So if you feel drawn to Pile 2, you might want to watch that one as well. So looking at your card, we have number 10, Power of the Divine Masculine, and this is the Lightworker Oracle, by the way, if you're interested in getting it. But we are going to find it and read it. An empowering energy seeks expression from within. It wishes to free you from confusion, paralysis, and stagnancy. It seeks to stir you into consciously chosen action, greater discipline, and focus. It's time to end the frustration of repeating old patterns. You are ready to break through into a new way of life. Feel inspired, be energized, and focused on your dreams and desires. Take steps to manifest them on the physical plane. Believe your success is inevitable. The divine masculine in you knows when to accept and when to say no to a belief, fear, habit, person, or situation. This divine masculine energy exists within all men and women. It rallies the spirit and responds in times when you may feel drained, taken advantage of, or overwhelmed by too many choices and demands. It cuts through the confusion that comes with choice and priority setting. It refuses to be distracted and keeps you from being dissuaded from your life purpose. The divine masculine within you sorry guys, I can't read today. The divine masculine is growing within you now. It is the spiritual light that reveals the truth without filters or veils. Let this energy clear distractions, demands, and drama from your life. Let it help you discern what is best for you and give you the courage to act on it. Let it help you sort out what is true from what is illusion. Let it help you dedicate your time and energy to what has most meaning for you. It will empower you to claim success in what matters most to you. The divine masculine overcomes procrastination and acts again and again in accordance with the heart. Divine masculine energy empowers each leading light to lovingly assert him or herself in the world. It does something, if I can turn the page, supports us in standing for what has meaning to the heart, whilst lovingly but firmly saying no when we need to do so. Do not minimize your inner divine masculine, whether you be man or woman. Nourish it. However, if your masculine energy has been trapped in the wounds of your ancestors, he may demand absolute perfection before you believe you are worthy of love. He may even be violent towards you, perhaps even keeping you from saying no to violent relationships or self-harming through over-exercising, denying your body good nutrition or rest, or by ignoring your feelings, vulnerabilities, and intuitive wisdom. He may need healing from your inner divine feminine to feel loved, valuable, worthy, needed, and respected. Then the inner misogynist will fall away as a new empowered divine masculine asserts itself within you. Learn to trust this part of yourself. Let him become strong within you. He can be your guide, protector, defender. Trust when he says no to something or someone. Trust when he says you are ready for this and encourages you to act. As you trust in him, you will trust yourself to be visible. Your divine masculine will help you shine your light without fear so others can find their way through darkness into love. And then there's this invocation on this page. If you want to read it out loud, you can pause that or something like that. And also 4 and 6 reduces to 10, which is the number of this card. Haha, synchronicities. Okay, so let's look at your cards now. I'm gonna stand up to make sure I get these all in the frame. So we have the Queen of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, the Four of Wands upright, the Five of Pentacles in reverse, and Justice. And then we also have Inner Child, number 17. And then the Blue Flame, Spontaneous Awakening, Activation, Integration Time. Dance with Life, do something to change your energy. Archangel Gabriel, Divine Inner Strength. And finally, left out with the Wolves and the Weight of Truth. Okay. So yeah, I definitely get the vibe that maybe you guys have been struggling as of recently. Or maybe it's not even that you're struggling. It's just that you're acknowledging it's time for change, or that you're out of alignment in some way. Maybe you've just been going through a rough patch with this Wheel of Fortune in reverse and this Five of Coins. Like maybe, maybe you were like in some kind of like period where you thought that it wasn't going to last very long, and that prosperity and abundance would just be right around the corner, and maybe it's been prolonged. And that might be due to a lack of like your energy changing. Like maybe you're still out of balance, or maybe you don't believe in yourself and your ability to manifest the things that you want. But I think Spirit is saying that it's time. That it's time for you to find this joy and this bliss. And I honestly look at this Four of Wands as the divine feminine and masculine within you, because we all have feminine and masculine qualities within us. And I think maybe one thing, like especially if your energy is more masculine in general, you might really have a hard time with inner child healing, and that might be blocking your heart chakra a lot. Like maybe there are things, like I almost wonder if you're attracted to feminine energy. Like I got the vibe that this Queen of Wands could maybe be somebody that you're interested in, or maybe like you have history with, or just like somebody that's like a friend that you find inspiring or something like that. And maybe this is a good person to look to if you need help, if they're like of the more spiritual type, that maybe could help you overcome a lot of maybe shortcomings with addressing the things within that you have trouble with. But even if this isn't, the Queen of Wands is a person who is really connected to spirit and really vivacious and has a lot of fun, and that could be you. Like this could just be representing even whether, no matter what you are, even if you have an abundance of masculine energy but maybe not so much feminine energy, maybe the way for you to embody more feminine energy and heal that like overpowering masculine energy is to kind of embody this Queen of Wands energy. So kind of using passion and the things that make you really happy as a way to, and like creativity to nourish that feminine side and kind of balance things out a little bit. But I feel like Spirit is saying that they're really tired of seeing you not feel your best, because you really deserve to. And I think the further along you go without acknowledging the things within you that are just dying to be expressed or acted upon, the longer the weight on, or the heavier the weight on your soul feels. I think that inner child healing is important. Actually, I think I'm gonna read it for you guys because I think it has important messages. It's also number 17, 8. I feel like there's a lot of 8s in here too. Yeah, 3 and 5 is another 8. I always, because like, I don't know, this just makes me think of like Leo energy a little bit. Just like kind of like that prideful energy, not wanting to admit any weakness, which is okay. So inner child. You've called this card and energy into your awareness today because it is time to create a more fulfilling, loving relationship with your inner child. Each person has within them aspects of the child, those parts of us that can be vulnerable, misunderstood, unloved, not heard, and those wounded feelings we hold on to as children. When we take these experiences into our adult life, our connection to the inner child is sometimes forgotten. Have you been beating yourself up lately, or been down on yourself and allowed people and situations in your life to affect you negatively? Pulling this card today highlights that you are currently reacting to a situation from the perspective of the inner child. Old wounds may be opened and you may feel trapped and confused. Know that it's time to give your inner child some love and care. Take some time to tune into this wounded being who lies within you. Ask what he or she requires in order to heal. You may feel drawn to go see a healer or simply take some quiet time to engage in an inner dialogue with this part of you. Whatever is required, know it's a powerful time of healing and breaking free from these old restraints. It's time for you to set your inner child free and allow this aspect of you to feel safe, loved, and heard. It's time to fully engaged and be present. I like this book. I love these cards, but there are typos in this book and it drives me up the freaking wall. Virgo moon props. It is time be safe, loved, and heard. It's time to be fully engaged and present with your inner child to allow deep connection and healing. Love, love, love is the key. It's also important to allow the inner child out to play. Life can also become so serious and we forget to play, create joy, and have fun. When was the last time you played and felt like a kid? What does your inner child want you to do? Go play on a swing, dance, paint, go to the beach? It's time to let your inner child express himself or herself with play and joy. The affirmation is, my inner child is free to express love and joy. So yeah, I think that could really help a lot. I honestly feel like I'm almost thinking of it as like a triangle, like the inner child up here and like the divine feminine and the divine masculine here, and like, you know, you need those parts of you balanced, and like it kind of supports the inner child in a way. But with this Archangel Gabriel, I feel like Spirit is saying that you are so strong and you've overcome so much. Like with this 5 of coins, I really feel like you've had a lot of turmoil in your life and a lot of struggles. And with this left out with the wolves, I feel like you really have been left to like struggle at times, and you really have had to learn things the hard way. And maybe some of that was because you were refusing to be open to the signs given to you, which is not a bad thing. It's just how we all learn sometimes. But I think you're on the cusp of some type of really big awakening. You know, we have multiple spiritual awakenings, like they just continue happening. It's kind of a cycle. And maybe you're in a spiritual low right now, but I actually think that you're headed towards a spiritual high. Archangel Gabriel may be with you and maybe specifically helping you along with this process. I'm actually thinking of the Archangel Gabriel from the energy deck. I think I have it over here. And in that deck, he represents the throat chakra. So maybe there's some communication with self that you might want to look into. I don't know. I'll find it while I talk. But I think like the color blue could be significant, or just like, I think maybe opening your throat chakra might be helpful. So focus on your heart and your throat. That's what she said. But yeah, so this is Archangel Gabriel in this deck. And in this one, it represents like communication. And so I think that you are stronger than you realize, but maybe you just need to like have a little chit chat with yourself more, maybe talk to your inner self more, and speak your truth more. And that's kind of the power of the divine masculine, is standing in your power and listening to the communication that you get from your inner divine masculine. And you know, sometimes you can't ignore the truth anymore, and it's time to, instead of resisting what your inner truth is telling you, just allow it to happen, because it's going to happen anyway. Like, I'm just going to be honest. And the more you allow your inner truth to be acknowledged, the freer and more balanced and you'll feel. And I almost wonder if this has something to do with like a particular person. It totally doesn't have to be, only if it resonates with you. But I think Spirit's asking you to kind of embody more of that Queen of Wands energy, and also like believe that you can be balanced so that you can attract like the kind of love that you want. Because I do think that with this heart chakra being here and like, you know, divine masculine and stuff, I do think that there is a love related aspect to this, especially with the 4 of Wands. Because I do think that in order for you to have like a more harmonious connections with people, it would help for you to have more harmony inside, so that you're like acting with intention and, you know, being able to stay present and focused, and maybe not worry about like what people are thinking, or like getting in your head about what people think of you or how things are happening. I feel like Spirit's asking you, you know, with this dance with life, do something to change your energy, to have the strength to go with the flow and stop trying to control everything and like hold on to things with an iron grip, because I actually think that's maybe what's keeping you in this low. And Spirit wants you to be balanced. This is also Libra energy. Spirit really wants you to you know, get to a place where you're happy with yourself and you're happy with like what is resonating with you, and just being in alignment with your truth, honestly. Like that's really what Spirit's trying to get you to do. And you know, I also think the universe is just trying to get you to understand that it's not out to get you, but like you can make your life easier or more difficult based upon how much you do or don't ignore what your heart is telling you, what your gut is telling you, because that is going to help you recognize what is in alignment with your truth and what isn't. And I'm feeling like this really big powerful surge of like energy right now, and I actually think that if you've been feeling depleted, meditation can be really helpful, but also just getting to know yourself a little bit more without judgment, and just kind of allowing your desires and your wants to really be heard and seen, and see if you can make that a reality in the 3D. It's not always possible, or maybe it takes time, or it takes work, or it takes energy, but just getting to the point where you can acknowledge the things that you really want out of life and the things that you want to go after, because Spirit doesn't want you to be in, you know, this really low place. They want you to be happy and joyful and celebrate. And I feel like there are so many successes out there for you to achieve and to celebrate. And you know what's interesting, we have this Merkaba here, and it's like kind of making me think of like what is this, a hexagram, or you know, little star or whatever. And this reminds me of like the Chariot. It's just kind of Cancer energy, but just moving forward when you're balanced. There's a lot to be stressed here about balance. You know, the Four of Wands, Justice. I think that it really goes to show, I think that you just need a little bit more confidence in who you are, and confidence that your truth is real. Because I think maybe you're more new to the spiritual stuff, or maybe you have a hard time understanding what actually is your truth. Writing could help you with that, but if you're like maybe more auditory or something like that, you could like, maybe if like when you're done meditating, you can record the things that you said, or like if you read tarot, you can read a reading back to yourself, and or something like that. But I think there's going to be a lot of events in the near future that are going to help you integrate. And I think Spirit's asking you to be excited for it, and be ready to like take on whatever is coming your way. Because I think that if you just kind of surrender to the flow and allow the things that are entering and exiting your life to happen, I think you're actually going to be a lot happier, because you're going to be feeling freer and more in alignment with what the universe's plan is for you and what you want your life to be. Because you know, life is all about co-creating with the universe. And like this makes me think of like as above, so below. So I think Spirit's asking you to take power into your own hands. And you know, like the Grimes song, We Appreciate Power, that's been in my head like for the past couple of weeks. I've mentioned it in a couple of readings. But I think that it's really important for you guys to start embodying your truth and not look at it as something to be ashamed of. And I think especially if you are a more masculine energy, or like you identify as a man, and you maybe struggle with the idea of vulnerability and being kind to yourself and like soft, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you got to do it in private so your boys or your friends don't make fun of you or something, that's fine. It's lame that's the attitude of the general world sometimes, but I feel like Spirit is saying that spirituality isn't just for women. Like I'm sorry, it's just so annoying when like people look at astrology or stuff like that as like a feminine thing. Like it's not. It's just the desire to understand our world and ourselves, and like there's nothing inherently feminine or masculine about that. That's just fucking human. Like we all just want to understand where we've come from. We all want to understand why we're here, and why do we feel connections to the people that we do, and why, and what the fuck is this? Like why are we living? Why do I have hands? Why do I have 5 fingers? Like you know, just shit like that. That's so damn human. Like it's not feminine or masculine. Like it's just what it is. And like I don't know, people place judgments and things on stuff, but like just do what feels right to you. Who gives a fuck what other people think? And if like you don't have to share that stuff with people, like it can just be for you. It doesn't have to be for anyone else. But I feel like Spirit is saying that things are going to come out pile 3 in the end. So just keep fighting. But the best thing that you can do is surrender to the energy of flow and not resist what the universe is trying to bring into your life, because I think that is holding you back from like your authentic truth. And yeah, I don't know, you guys are awesome and you deserve to believe that. And I think that especially if there are any like people you've been feeling called to speak to, like there might be a reason for that. Maybe your soul is calling you to like communicate with them, or there could be like some soul family stuff, or you know, maybe there's just some things that you need to like address. I feel like it's different for everybody, but for some of you, if like there's been like a particular person on your mind, maybe you might want to explore that. You don't necessarily have to do anything, but maybe just explore the feelings behind it and like why you're feeling that way. I don't know, just do what feels right to you. But you're a lot stronger than you think you are, and you'll be just fine. and I think that the just the more you really are kind to yourself and allow healing and allow change and progress and new things into your life, I think the happier you will be. Because I think that the things that are in your life currently, while some of it is great and wonderful, some of it also maybe it's time for it to fall away, and because it just doesn't resonate with you anymore, or it's not serving you anymore. And that's okay. You know, life isn't meant to be stagnant. Like, it's meant to be flowing and changing, and like that can suck sometimes, but I think that there's a lot of like intense spiritual awakening coming, and I think it's actually going to make you a lot happier and feel a lot freer in your truth. So I feel like Spirit is saying justice is coming. The best way you can progress it along is by, you know, just allowing things to happen as they will, and surrender to the flow and surrender to what your heart and what your soul is helping you feel called to. But if you feel really out of touch with your heart and you don't know how to get in touch with it, then I would definitely get in touch with that inner child. Even if it's like playing video games that you used to love, or just any video game you want to play, or like, you know, going outside and having fun, or just having some good old-fashioned fun. Like, that's a good way to feel good. But we're gonna get you some more advice. So Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 3? What do you want them to know? I'm taking these, and on the back we have power again. I am strong, I am grounded, I am powerful. I am like a cross between a dinosaur and a tank, but not a tank that is used for war. I am like a peaceful, loving dino tank who feels so strong it doesn't need to do anything but be. And I think this one should apply to you guys too, so I'm gonna take it. Love is a many splendored thing. Today we'll notice and appreciate at least 3 of those splendors. Like the fact that puppies make me feel like a parent, or the surge of self-congratulation when I sink a 3-point trash basket shot on the first try. Or how about the chills I get while singing along to name of the song you know one. Okay, we appreciate power because I was talking about that. So that works. Let's see what these other ones were. Ups and downs. I see life as an incredible ride, and I'm lucky to be on it. Yes, the ups and downs make me want to puke sometimes, but they're also what makes things fun and interesting. And when you look back, even puking on yourself makes for a good story. And then finally, we have joy. To enjoy something, I simply need to add joy to it. Joy is like butter. I can put it on anything and it'll make it way better. Today, we'll add joy to everything. Really slather it on. Today, I'm the Orville Redenbacher of joy, and life's popcorn is about to get it. I love that so much. It's so cute. But yeah, I think that there's just a lot of themes of life that you're like grappling with right now, because I feel like for a long time you probably just believed that you weren't worthy of those things, or that those things just wouldn't happen. And I feel like your guides are saying, hey, no, like, you might have had it rough, but like that doesn't mean it's supposed to be rough forever. Like, it can and will get better, but like your attitude is important, and allowing things to change instead of gripping onto things that are not serving you with like this iron grasp is like not helping you. Okay, let's look at some self-care now and see what Spirit wants you to know in terms of self-care. Okay, I'm going to take these, and I'm going to take this one. So very interesting. On the back of the deck we have rest, which is a 7. So it could just be time for you to give your brain a break and kind of just go within and give yourself a little breather, especially if you've been working really hard. If you felt called to any of the other readings, I would definitely watch them, just because there does seem to be a lot of intermixing messages. But we also have clean your space. Yeah, okay, so yeah, we had that one in number 1 too. So you might be feeling a little bit lighter if you need to like clear stuff out, or you know, just organize things. If your brain's feeling really cluttered, typically clutter in your space makes that worse. So if you want to feel lighter, cleaning your space could be a great way to just feel a little bit lighter. And it also, like, when you're kind of in that just autopilot mode of cleaning, which can be difficult sometimes, you can get intuitive downloads, which is pretty interesting. And we have connect with your womb. So I guess if you're a guy, or if you have male parts, that's not really gonna resonate with you. But connecting, well, I guess it doesn't have to be a literal womb. You know, this power of the divine masculine was talking about embodying your inner divine feminine to not make, to kind of soften the intensity of the masculine energy within you. So yeah, maybe connect to that feminine energy and kind of just allow yourself to be gentle and kind with yourself. I wanted to pull another one, but yeah, we also have intuition. So this to me is literally just all about trusting what your gut is telling you and following it where it leads. I would definitely watch one of the other readings if you felt called to it, just because I feel like there's a lot of intermixing messages in them, and I think that they could be very helpful. But we also have positive affirmations on the back of the deck again, and I think that could be really helpful for you guys as well, just to, like, even if you don't believe it, like, it does help. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's science behind that, but there's definitely science behind that. But positive affirmations definitely can help. And, like, I don't know, the worst thing that you're doing is telling yourself nice things, and maybe they don't help. But I don't know. I think in terms of risk and reward, there's a lot more reward than there is risk. But we're going to get some channel messages for you guys and see what Spirit wants to say to you. So, Spirit, what do you want pile 3 to know? Okay. So I have a message for you. Pick your favorite playlist, hit shuffle 3 times. Ah, shit. If the answer is unclear, acknowledge it and pay attention for future signs. We also have meditate by water to hear messages more clearly. And it's okay to miss the physical presence of your loved ones, whether they're across the world or have crossed into our world, i.e. the spirit world. They are still with you in spirit. Pay attention to the signs. Yeah, so that's like what I was saying too. If you were missing somebody, like maybe somebody that you had in the past, like maybe you want to explore that. Or if you've just been missing someone who's like literally passed on, this is Spirit's way of saying that they're still around and that they still love you very much, and that you can connect to them through your inner power and through meditation and through, you know, the inner workings of your soul. They're still with you at the soul level, and they'll always be with you. But I think for people who are still like incarnated or still in their 3D bodies on earth that you miss, I feel like this is Spirit's way of saying that maybe, you know, your journey with them isn't over, or maybe it's time to explore like why you miss them, or, you know, maybe if you can't communicate with them, just connecting to their presence and their spirit could be really helpful for you. But we also have you already know the answer. So if there's any questions you've been asking, I feel like your gut knows the answers to them. And we also have snake jazz. So yeah, don't be afraid to feel free, have fun, watch Rick and Morty, or listen to some snake jazz. But I feel like I always look at this card as embracing your uniqueness and embracing the things that make you happy, whether people understand them or not. And that's kind of same with that rest, and that like just doing those things that make you happy and following your intuition, because there's messages everywhere. And then on the back of the deck, we have we know again. So this is Spirit's way of saying, and we also had underneath that, you are in alignment with a divine plan, 222. I felt like that was meant for you also. But with we know, I feel like this is Spirit's way of saying like we know what you've been going through. Like, we're here, we're listening to you, we love you, we want to help you, you know, don't be afraid to ask us for anything. But we also, like, you know, we know, just listen to our plan, because I almost feel it's like we know what's best for you, and like your gut knows what's best for you, and you can trust it. You know, sometimes it might be hard to let go of that logical, analytical side of you. But it can actually be really helpful. And I think that you know, just thinking about, I mean, if you've ever played Elder Scrolls, I mean, this is a reference from the Dark Brotherhood. And like, you know, maybe this is like referencing soul family, like maybe with this, you know, missing the physical presence of people in your soul family, you know, you might be able to communicate with them telepathically, whether you realize it or not, or maybe connect with them in dreams or something like that. But I think overall, if you've been praying to spirit, or you've really just been trying to get your messages across, or get more communication, they know. And I feel like they're saying like it'll come with time. And like, I feel like, you know, as well, like I know it, you know it, we all know it. So I think that's like what spirit is saying. But I am going to leave this reading here, pile 3. Thank you guys so much for watching this all the way through. If you did, definitely let me know down in the comments how it resonates. I would love to hear. And if you haven't liked this video and you enjoyed it, I would love if you did that. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribed as well. Thank you so much for being a light worker, and thank you so much for letting me read your cards. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye.